Hey team, I'm Melissa Forsyth, the principal here at Liberty Middle School. And at Liberty, we follow the big three, where we do our best, we do what's right, and we treat others the way we want to be treated at all times. We understand that middle school is the prime time to get students talking about character and what they plan to do post-secondary. By incorporating soft skills into our daily motivation here at Liberty, we're getting students ready for whatever they choose: employment into the workforce, enrollment into college, or enlistment into the armed forces. We invited 2 local business owners, Rashad Jones from Big Lee's Barbecue and Jeromy Williams from Chick-Fil-a, to discuss the importance of work ethic, teamwork, positive attitude, and communication with our entire student body. Students in our career and technical education classes created questions for the gentlemen to answer in a live streaming video across campus. Afterwards, they spent time in the courtyard with our students, answering questions and actually signing some autographs as well. All really does mean all here at Liberty Middle School and across our district. We appreciate the support of our community in our efforts to make sure all students value these soft skills to get them ready for whatever lies ahead: employment, enrollment, or enlistment. We hope you enjoy this project.
The next soft skill is communication from Mr. Wallace, Mr. McKeever's TV production class. What is the proper way to ask for help if I need it?
First off, understand that the greatest thing that you can do is admit you don't know everything. Second greatest thing you can do is just admit when you make a mistake. It snowballs every time when you try to cover up a mistake or you're in fear. So before I became a Chick-fil-A owner, I actually was a teacher in Georgia for 10 years, and I was an athletics coach. So I coached football, wrestling, and track, and I taught special education. And one of the things I learned early on as a teacher is it was such a priority for me to be able to look at my classroom of students when they ask me a question and be able to say, I don't know, but let's find out together. The moment you start trying to pretend like you know it all, or you try to fake it because you're so worried about not being right, I think that's huge. So don't be afraid. We don't know everything. We need other people.
Yep.
And so the first ability to do that, you open up the door, you're vulnerable, you're admitting to somebody you just don't know it all. Typically people want to come alongside someone like that and help them. And all of a sudden, boom, there's a friendship formed. So don't be afraid to say I don't know, and don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong.
That was a great answer. I kind of totally see you as a coach now. You sound like a coach when you're sharing this stuff. I'm inspired hearing you.
I'm ready to go throw football in your yard, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
Maybe afterwards.
Yes, sir.
But asking for help, how do you ask for help? I think the way you ask for help is, again, I think it goes back to really clarifying what is it that you truly need? What is it that I'm truly in search of? Because if you don't start out by asking the right questions, you might put a lot of effort into asking, and searching, but if you haven't properly identified what the question is, you're going to get a lot of answers that go back to maybe it's not the right fit once again. So I think that's the first thing I'd say is make sure you clearly understand what it is that you're in need of. What is it that you need help with? Second thing, make sure you go to the right sources. I wouldn't ask someone for help who is in worse off shape than me necessarily. Like if I had a business question, Jeromy and Chick-fil-A, they kill it. If you ever have driven by there, they have a double drive-through line, and it's like they're insanely successful with what they do. So if I'm like, I wonder what could I do to make barbecue more successful, I'm not going to go talk to somebody who's not really successful. I'd probably pick his brain if he'd let me. I'm say, hey, how are you guys doing this? What are y'all putting in that chicken? And he probably wouldn't tell me that. But
I don't even know. So we're good.
But I would really intelligently and selectively find the right people to ask questions. Questions are some of the greatest gifts on earth, because if you can get the right answers, it's transformative. And if you can find the right people, it's transformative. It can really change your life if you know the right questions to ask and you cross paths with the right people and they can give you those answers. Your life can literally change. So, and then the last thing I'd like to say too, piggybacking off of something Jeromy said, please don't be afraid to ask questions. I used to kind of be like, well, I don't want to ask because then I might look stupid or I might look dumb or they might think I'm not smart. And I've learned to kind of get past the, well, how am I going to look in order to get the answers that I need to help my company, my friends, my family, and our organization. So it's totally okay to ask for help and need help. If you're a human, you're probably going to cross paths with that situation at some point.
Thank you. Those are great answers. And,
Thanks.
The class's next question was, how important is it to be listening during communication?
It's extremely important. It's extremely important to listen during communication because what people have to say is important. I think it's a way that you show that you value and respect people by listening to them. If someone's talking and you're like, oh, whatever, you're on your phone, you're like, hey, hold on a second, and I'm doing all, it just kind of makes someone feel, it would make me feel like I'm not important to you if anyone did that. So I think that's a big thing with respect, showing somebody that you actually care enough to stop what you're doing, because whatever you're doing might not actually be that important in that moment to ignore someone. So I think it's extremely important.
We kind of have this thing, there's a reason we all have 2 ears and only one mouth. We're supposed to be listening twice as much as we talk. And so that we find that really plays out in a lot of what we emphasize within our guest service model, but also just daily life. One thing that resonates to students when I come speak in classrooms is I'll give a couple examples of how important is eye contact. And so we've all come home and had this amazing day or something awesome happen, and we want to tell either our best friend or our parents or our brother about it. And then we're amped up and we're excited, and they're looking somewhere else. Or to your point, they're on their phone. Something, or they're watching that TV show, and you're to a really important part, and you just get the grunt answers. You're like, isn't that amazing? Yeah, honey. That's. How do you feel in that moment? You don't feel valued. You don't feel like they're really zoned in. So eye contact is huge, right? And then making yourself available. So as parents, my wife and I did this thing. People thought we were crazy at first. When we needed to get our kids' attention, like, I need you to zone in, dial in, look deep in my soul right now, we would have this thing where we would make them stop, and we would literally say, hold my face. And we would make our kids walk up to us with both hands and literally hold our face. So what did that make them do?
Pay attention.
Made eye contact. They had to take every distraction away, because it's really hard to hold somebody's face and look other places, right? So even today, I've got a junior in high school and a sophomore in high school, and kind of as a joke, if they're not tuning in, I'll look at them and say, hey, bud, do you need to hold my face? And that's his message. Okay, I better stop, because I'll make him do it. Like, I don't care if we're at a restaurant. Hold my face, dude. He's like, Dad, come on. I'm like, then pay attention. So that to me is critical.
Thank you.
Do you believe culture, gender, nationality, or social class have an effect on communication?
Awesome. Who asked that one?
Just a class in general.
Awesome question. So in the environment that I'm in, one thing that I was not prepared for as a business owner, as our business grew. Now, when I started out, I only had 22 employees my very first year. I was in a Chick-Fil-A, which was 15 years ago. You fast forward 15 years, and now we have over 125. Here's what I wasn't ready for. Inside our organization, we employ 125 people from the age range of 16 to our eldest is almost 70. Those are vast different generations that have different value propositions, that value things differently. I've got some folks that are in their 60s that you have to make them stay home if they had pneumonia. Their mindset is, no, you work.
Yeah.
We made an obligation. I signed up to work. I'm coming to work. You literally have to protect them from themselves. We have others that go, I need to be out for a week because I have a sniffle. There's vast difference. And within the expectation of those generations, the way they communicate is very different. Our older generation, they don't want the warm and fuzzy. They want to be right to the point, tell me what I need to know, and let's move on. Different generations are requiring a different level and a different method of communication. So it's been really the biggest challenge from the communication standpoint for me has been scratching every itch of literally 5 different generations worth of workforce in one organization. Wow. That's been really interesting to navigate.
Wow. I think all of our unique experiences, traits, background, culture, religion, and even, orientations, all those other things, I think it definitely affects how we communicate, because those are unique situations that every individual brings to the table. But I don't think it has to be awkward. I don't think it has to be negative. I think it can be positive. And I think you just treat people like your parents probably taught you how to treat people, like nice, kind, respectful. And it can be very, very simple, or outside of being nice, kind, and respectful, you can make things very, very difficult, and it's not really necessary. I've had friends throughout my childhood. I was born in New Jersey, the inner city of New Jersey, Rahway, New Jersey. I grew up in a town called Elizabeth, New Jersey. And when you talk about like a melting pot of so many different types of people, and that's where I'm from. And it's just, again, it's just something that you learn how to interact with people and engage with people based on who they are, who they present themselves to be. And you be nice to them, you treat them with kindness, you treat them with respect, and you'll realize that all of our basic needs and wants in life are generally the same. You could have like purple hair, 50 necklaces on, an outfit on that is completely different than how I would ever dress, and a pair of shoes that look completely different than how I'd ever dress, and everything about you looks completely different than me. But I guarantee if we went to Chick-Fil-A and sat down and I ordered a spicy chicken sandwich, the fried one, not the grilled, I love the fried one, and we sat there and talked for an hour, I bet you we'd be like, wow, we have a lot in common. We look completely different. I was born in the inner city. Grew up in the inner city of Elizabeth, New Jersey. But you know what? We both want to be loved. We both want to be respected. We both want to be cared for. We both want to make a difference. We both don't want people to be mean to us and judge us based on who we uniquely are. And it's like, that's pretty much it, So I think we do communicate differently. But I think we're all still saying the same thing and wanting to hear the same things when we communicate. We want to hear love, we want to feel loved, and those sorts of things.
And the core of it, too, if you're looking for good in people, you will find it.
Yep.
If you're looking for differences and you're looking for diversity and you're looking to be like, you will find whatever I've lived in a bunch of different towns, and people will ask me all the time, what was your favorite place to live? I really don't have one, because everywhere I've been, I've met and found good people because I was looking for them. I wasn't looking for a reason for us to not get along. I wasn't looking for a reason for us to be so different. I love diversity. I love it. I was born in Miami, Florida. I'd love to know more about New Jersey. So if you're looking for positive in people,
Fins.
You'll find it, right? Yeah, there we go.
You a Fins fan?
Absolutely.
See, I'm a Fins fan as well.
Me too.
Commonality right
Hey,
there.
look at that.
And you know what we did before you guys went live? Do y'all have any idea? We already swapped information.
We did.
This is the first day we've ever met.
Yep.
And we're already picking each other's brains, going to visit each other's business.
Yep.
Because, man, look at this. Man, why would you not want to learn, right? Awesome, upstanding guy, great dad, I can already tell. I want to learn as much as I can. I made a brand new awesome friend today.
Yep, absolutely.
Because I was looking for it.
Of course, yes. The last question under communication asks, has the internet and social media caused a change in the way we communicate? And if so, how can that affect us in the workplace?
This is a big hot button with me. I can't stand social media. I'll go ahead and put it out there. Now, there are positives about it, without question. There's positives about it, right? But I grew up in a time that you had a disc camera that you actually had to send the film away, and maybe a week or 2 weeks before the film came back. And you don't even know at that point whether you got your finger, your thumb, or did you even get what you were looking for, right? Now we can't eat a meal without having to take a picture of whatever it is we're eating and make sure everybody knows that I'm eating macaroni and cheese. And it's like, wow, okay. I think what's happened is, again, if you're looking to spread positive on social media, I think it's an amazing platform. I don't think either one of us can deny the power of social media in our business. But we could have between us 5,000 transactions in a day. And unfortunately, maybe the 3 negative experiences or their perception of negative is what gets blasted all over social media. And that's not really a fair representation of everyone's experience. So I just think you've got to be so careful. And I'm going to put this as the biggest caution I have for all you guys out there. as employers, one of the things that we do is we do a background check, and we're starting to learn about you, because remember, we're going into a partnership. So one of the things that I love to ask people during interviews is, hey, did you drive today? And when they say, yeah, I say, can I borrow your keys? I'm just going to drive your car around Ocala for a little bit. I'll bring it back. And they go, no. I said, well, why not? I mean, I'm almost 50 years old. I've been driving a long time. I've never been in a wreck. Trust me with your car. No, man, that's my car. Okay, but I'm getting ready to trust you with my business. And I'm going to ask you to drive around the block. I need to get to know who you are, don't I? Where do you think the first place I'm going to look to start figuring out who you are? Your social media. Because what are you going to put on social media? You're going to put out what you want the world. That's your book cover, right? So if you want the world to think a certain way of you, that's what you're going to put out there for everybody to see. I can't tell you the amount of people we've been clicking on and went, nope. Clicked on it, nope. And we've just moved on. Now, whether that's them or not, that's what they're putting out there for the world to see. So love social media from the standpoint if it was used for positive and to promote things going on in our community and encouraging others. Man, I think it's an amazing platform. But I just don't see that as the trend. I see it as bullying. I see a lot of negativity. And I see y'all self-esteem. I see it in my own kids. I put something out there, and if I don't get enough thumbs up or likes, it's a vote against me. I only got 10 likes, and I posted it 10 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden I'm depressed. We put a little bit way too much into that.
Man, that was really good. I think one thing I do want to say, because everything you put on social media, it's like the one thing that you can create that will never die, is a social media post. It'll outlive you. It's outlived teens that have, that aren't with us anymore. So you just really want to be very cognizant. You want to be really aware and smart about everything you post on social media. I only post like food stuff to make people's mouths water, and I'm still like, should I post this one or let me go back and look at another, because it's going to live on forever. And I want it to be the best representation of what I'm trying to communicate. But I think social media has affected communication, and it's like anything. It's affected it in some really revolutionary and amazing ways, like friends that I have that live on the other side of the planet, where I can say, oh, cool, so-and-so's doing this today. That was really neat. And then there's things about it that are not so great, that are not so nice. But that comes with everything. I mean, that's with driving. That's with everything. That's with food choices. It's with everything in life. But I've really tried to figure out ways to use social media to communicate what I'm really, really passionate about, which is barbecue. So if you were to go on our Instagram page right now, you'll see mac and cheese stuffed with brisket and smoked Gouda, and someone scooping it out of a pan in these long, stringy, ooey gooey pieces of cheese. And you'll see like the smoke ring on a piece of brisket. And that's the effect I'm wanting when I post this stuff. The piece of juicy brisket with juice dripping off of it, and it's nice and creamy and ooey and gooey. And you can imagine how a bite of that stuff will taste. I'm trying to say a lot of things with just a picture. There's this old saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. And I'm trying to say like 10,000 things to you with just one social media picture. Trying to get the right lighting, trying to get the right angle. I'm like, no, pull that mac and cheese up a little bit higher so I can get that perfect shot of that brisket. Because I know, like, we eat with our eyes. If I post a picture of some food that looks absolutely disgusting, but I say half off today only, you're gonna be like, that's great. I'm still not gonna go and buy it because it looks gross. So I try to use social media to really tempt people. I want to tempt you. I want to make you really, 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 really hungry from a social media post, and then I want to feed you. Because when you show up to Big Lee's, we're going to greet you really well. I'm going to come out, I'm going to shake your hand, I'm going to thank you for coming out, and then I'm going to say, hey, how'd you find out about us? Oh, man, there was a picture of some mac and cheese on Instagram. Do you guys have that today? And I'm going to kind of tease you a little bit and say, no, we're all out of it. Like, what? You're out of it? And then we're going to like, yeah, we have it. I was just joking. Then you're going to get the food. You're going to feel welcome. We kind of broke some of the ice, by me joking around a little bit and showing that I'm just a regular guy. And then once we feed you, we hope to like blow the socks off of your feet where you're like, whoa, what was that? I got to get more of that. So that's kind of how I see social media. I see it as a way to make new friends that will come and visit me at Big Lee's, or I've met other guys who cook barbecue around the country through social media, and I had a really cool opportunity, excuse me, a couple of years ago to compete on the Food Network. It was a show called Guy's Big Project, and I actually won the entire competition, excuse me, and I earned my own television show. And the cool thing was that some of the same people that I'd met on social media like years prior, we were able to cross paths again in the food television world, where I went to go interview some of these guys for my television show. It's called Eat, Sleep, Barbecue. It's on Hulu and Sling. You can catch it on both of those platforms. So the guys that I made friends with on social media, like, I'm there in their restaurants now thinking, this is kind of crazy. Like, just 2 years ago, we were saying, hi, your brisket looks awesome, or your ribs look really cool. Now I'm there to have these guys on my TV show to show them to the world. And years ago, you couldn't do that through writing letters. You couldn't do it through phone calls. You couldn't do it through a text message. Social media is a diamond in the rough right now. And I feel like all of us that really use social media a lot, we're trying to figure out how to take that rough diamond and polish it up and cut it the right way so it sparkles. Because it's the wave of the future when it comes to communication. I don't see it going backwards. So we all have to work together to figure out how to better use it, and be nice and kind and respectful on social media, and not try to hurt anyone. It's simple. Just do the things our parents raised us to do wherever we go, whether you're in the cafeteria, whether you're at Chick-Fil-A, whether you're at Big Lee's, whether you're on social media. Just be the way your parents raised you to be. Be good.